everybody. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another week of Kingdom Builders Credit Repair TV show and podcast. Welcome. Go ahead, get ready. Come on in the room. Go tell a friend. Go tell a family member. Go tell somebody that we are live. We are live. That's right. We are live today, and we are so excited to come to you with another episode like we do every Friday from 12:30 until 1 to talk to you about credit and financial tips. And today we are going to be breaking down what's the difference between finances, debt, and credit. Do we even know? Are we even concerned about it? Well, I'm going to break down some things for you today that are going to blow your mind. That's right. And give you an opportunity to solve the problems that you have in these areas. But first, like we do always, we want to give a shout out to our streaming platform, CTR Media Network. They are a network that houses over, get ready. We are talking about over 3.6 billion viewers. That's right. They have 3.6 billion with a B viewers every single day, every single hour. There are billions of people that are watching our platform, and we just want to say thank you, CTR Media Network, Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, and Mr. Curtis Ramsey. We want to thank you guys for creating this platform so that we can be seen and heard all around the world. Listen, y'all go ahead to their website, get in where you fit in, CTR Media Network. That's right. Go ahead and get in where you fit in. All right, but back to our topic. As we do always every single Friday, we talk about what credit is. So as I'm going into our topic for today, I'm actually going to be talking about what credit is in detail, a little bit more detail. But just as a disclaimer, like we do every week, credit is the opportunity when you don't have enough money to pay for something that you need or something that you want. You have the ability to be able to put it on credit. So in order to put it on credit, you have to find the right company or the right bank or credit union that is going to finance your particular item that you need or that you want. So, credit in a nutshell is just when you don't have enough money to pay for something outright yourself, then you have the opportunity to put something on credit if you have a good reputation. So, we're going to get into that today. But like I said, we just want to first make sure that you are subscribed to the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair YouTube channel and podcast. We are on Spotify, Amazon Music. We are on Apple Podcasts. Listen, you need to make sure that you are connected with us everywhere at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, as well as KB.MichelleGreen. Because did y'all know that I've been a business owner for over 30 plus years? And what that means for you is you're getting some real information. This is not something that came yesterday that you're just dependent on the information to really impact your life for a temporary period of time. No, this is permanent information that you have for over 30 years of plus experience of being able to get some information that is the real deal, that is substance. It's something that's going to stick and it's going to last. That's what that means. So we want to make sure that you are connected. We want to make sure that you are here and that you understand that you got to subscribe. Like, you cannot just date us. You got to be able to marry into this podcast or this YouTube channel. We want you to stay connected permanently. We want you to be the one that is here and understand that this information is endless. That's what we're trying to get you to understand. So you know that you need the update every so often, right? Well, you can have this update every single week if you go ahead and subscribe, lock in, and set that notification so you never ever miss another week of the KBCR TV show and podcast. Hey. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the topic. So like I said, we are talking about today, we make money, but do we still struggle to understand the difference between finances, the difference between debt, and the difference between credit? So when I think about finances, I think about all of the stuff that I need in order for me to live a basic lifestyle. And because of this mindset, we were able in Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, we were able to create a literal budget that helps you to connect your finances, to connect the dots. And when I say connect the dots, what I'm talking about is you're able to literally be able to come in, break down all of your finances, and break down everything that you use as a utility, all of your investing, your savings accounts, your money that you're paying for taxes, your insurances. We have all of these things in a actual budget that we're actually going to be doing a masterclass called the Official Financial Dominion Masterclass that's coming up on February the 18th, and we'll be breaking that down for you. But see, the difference in between, someone who does not understand the difference between debt and credit and finances is how you manage your income. So, as a person who makes money, as a person who is always concerned about making more money, I want you to think about for a second how differently it is for you to focus on the money that you manage as it comes in, as you earn the living. I want you to think about managing the money. Just think about for a second, just the money management versus something that is on your credit reports with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion and Anovis. And then we want to look at separately how much of that debt do you have on your credit. So even if we take the credit portion off of the table, we look at when you decided that you were going to go to that lender, that creditor, that company, because you know you needed something or you wanted something really bad and you got approved for it. And now, what is the total balance that you have to pay off in order for you to look at your debt? So when we talk about debt, debt is the total balance, not the monthly payment that you are paying off. We are talking about three different things. We're talking about the income, which is your finances and how well you manage the money that comes into your household. We're talking about the amount of debt that you have actually a total of owing. So how much money have you actually borrowed altogether? That's the key. And then the credit is the reputation of you having the ability to have what we call buying power in the credit industry. So, how much buying power do you have? When you look at credit, you want to understand that credit allows the lender to see how much of their money do you actually need. So when we're talking about credit, we always want to keep in mind credit is never viewed from our angle of how many different things we have on our credit reports. So we need to throw that out of the equation. When we look at credit, we want to understand that credit is when the lender is looking at how much buying power do you have. How much buying power you have gives a new lender or even your current lender the ability to give you more money. Okay, the ability to give you more money with the more buying power. But how is that determined? It's simply determined by when you show proof that you do not need the money. So I know that it's kind of like crazy when we think about this whole equation of the difference between finances, debt, and credit, especially as it relates to the credit portion. Because when we have a reputation of buying power, we want to understand that every single lender or creditor only lends to us based on our reputation, our character, based on the terms and conditions of the people who we previously set up credit accounts with, and what was the reputation that we had of buying power with them. So, how much buying power you have determines basically how well your credit score is going to be, and it also determines how well you will be able to move forward with a new lender or your current lender because they're looking at what do you absolutely need versus what you're willing to borrow and be able to pay back. All right. So those are three different areas. So let's break it down a little bit further. When I think about credit, I think about the fact that I need to prove to every single person or every single organization, because we're dealing with banks and we're dealing with credit unions. I need to prove that I don't need the money. So if a lender or creditor is coming to me and they're saying, hey, Michelle, I want to go ahead and lend you $10,000. Okay, I want to lend you $100,000. I want to lend you $50,000. Whatever the amount is, in order for me to have that good reputation of credit, I have to be willing to change my mindset to say, okay, do I need $10,000? Do I need $50,000? Do I need $100,000? Because I'm a business owner of four companies, I tend to get a lot of lenders that offer money to us. So anyway, whether it's business or personal, we're talking about personal today, but it also applies with business. You have to prove that you do not need the money. So if you are in a tight bind or you're in a situation where you are having a problem with money, not having enough money, and a lender is coming to you and offering you the ability to buy more, then what you have to do is look at how much are they willing to offer you. So if I needed $10,000, then I would need to borrow $20,000 so that when I take on the loan, I would be able to pay back half of the debt that I owed. So now that takes me into the conversation around the debt. See, the debt is going to be determined only and specifically by how much money I need to pay back altogether. So if I am taking on that $20,000 loan because I needed $10,000, then I'm going to take the half of that 20,000 and pay it back down immediately after I get the loan to show what? That I have good buying power. That's right. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to give them right back this $10,000, which is half of the debt that I borrowed initially with interest. Okay, I'm going to take that money, I'm going to give it right back. And now on my credit report, I'm going to show that I don't owe as much money as I borrowed. See, the problem with us is that we're not really concerned about the debt. And this is why our credit reputation is so horrible, because we're not even conscious of how much debt we really owe altogether. So when we look at altogether debt, we're looking at the fact that we got a whole list of companies that we have borrowed from, and we had buying power at the time in order for us to even get it on our credit, right? But what we got to understand about this whole equation is, if I or you don't concern ourselves with how much debt we actually have sitting there all together and how quickly are we able to pay the debt down, then we're always going to have a problem with our credit, and we're always going to have a problem with our debt, and we also will have a problem with our income. Okay, because see, it takes the income in order for us to be able to manage the money we receive well, so that we can direct it to the debt that we owe, the balances that we need to pay off. So have you been in a position where you have some money maybe over there at your 401k on your job? Maybe you got some kind of pension plan. Maybe you were in a car accident and you got paid a lump sum of money. See, when these kinds of things happen in our life day to day, or year to year, or month to month, or whenever it occurs, we have to think about the debts that we owe, because the buying power will never change if we do not pay the debt back. Okay, so our debt is simply, what is that total balance that we owe? How much money are we actually putting ourselves into debt with? See, when we think about it from that angle, it changes our mindset about our money. It changes our mindset about the debt that we actually owe and how quickly we were able to pay it off. And it also changes our mindset about our buying power, which is the ability of our reputation not being tainted with credit. Okay, so when we look at the credit equation, we're only looking at how much buying power do I have. If I have a lot of buying power, it means that I have proven over and over and over again that I don't need the money that the lender or the creditor is offering. If I am doing well with my debts, it means that I don't have a lot of debt stacked up. In other words, I don't have a lot of student loan debt. I'm paying my debt down as I'm going to school, or after I've graduated from school, I'm going to make sure that I start paying on the student loan debt or the mortgage. I'm knocking down the mortgage by making additional payments throughout the year, if not every single 2 weeks. You know, I gave y'all a secret last week, and that secret is, y'all want me to tell you? You want me to tell you? Somebody put a like in the comments. Somebody give me a heart or something. Can I get some kind of response to know that y'all are out there watching? Okay, can I get a couple of likes? Okay, so the reason why we have so much debt is because we don't understand that if we were paying bi-weekly, or if we were paying our debt every single week instead of only one time a month, that we would be able to get out of debt earlier. We will be able to pay off the balances because we're making more than just one payment every 30 days. We would never be able to get out of debt as long as we consider that the only thing we're willing to do concerning our debt, the total balances that we owe altogether from every single creditor, from every single lender, is when we decide that we are only going to make that one time payment a month. Listen, the debt is going to last forever. Okay, you could pay off. Think about this. If you just look at how long it literally takes for you to pay off the balances of what you totally owe, calculate that for a moment. If you got a $25,000 car, right? So let's take a $25,000 car note, and you got a car note that is, let's say, $700 a month. Okay, so we're talking about 35 payments out of a car note that's only $25,000 total debt. Okay, 35 payments is at $700 a month is only less than 3 years of you paying on the debt. Now, you know you got the interest that's going to accrue at the beginning of the debt. So as you're paying on the vehicle, if it's $25,000 or more, you literally could pay this off way earlier than what you are, financed for, what you have your terms and conditions set up for to pay back. But the problem is that we never ever really look at the debt that we owe. And by us not looking at the debt that we owe, we are unconscious of that total payoff amount. And it takes us almost 10 years to pay the same $25,000 off that we owe, that we could have paid if we were just focused on the debt. Then we wouldn't have to have such a long period of time to take care of the debt. And think about the same thing for a mortgage. Let's say we got a $250,000 mortgage. And the $250,000 mortgage, let's say we divide that by a mortgage payment of, I don't know, let's say $2,000. Okay. $2,000 a month. Okay, that's 125 monthly payments. But we are financed for 360 payments or more on a mortgage, and then we go and ask for more buying power to get a second mortgage or a home equity line of credit for those of us who are already homeowners, and then we tack on another 50 to 60 or even up to $100,000 of more debt when we haven't even paid down the initial $250,000 of debt that we owe for the mortgage. We haven't even put a dent in it. Okay? So when we think about this debt equation, the debt is what's choking us out. The debt is what is the problem, because even though we have the entryway of the buying power to be able to get the credit, do we really think about this equation of paying off this debt? We don't look at the debt balances. We don't think about a strategy that we can put together to actually pay off the things that we owe so that we can have more buying power. But you got to learn how to play the credit game. You have to learn how to play the debt game. And these are things that we teach you in our Kingdom Builders Credit Repair Program. We teach you about credit. We teach you about the debt and how to strategize to pay that debt off or to pay that debt down so you can get more buying power. Is this good or what? Somebody let me know something out there. Can I get a like? Can I get a share? Can I get a something? Y'all tell me something, because I know y'all listening. I know y'all watching, because we got billions of people that's watching anyway. Okay, so now let's talk about the finances for the end of the equation. So we talk about the finances, even though it's the beginning of the equation of our whole portfolio of money. Okay, but when we look at the finances, we're looking at how do you manage your money? Exactly how, when you get a paycheck, and today's Friday, so I know you got paid. Okay, so you got the money, and instead of you just stopping for a moment to decide, where am I going to direct this money, even though you already know in the back of your head, because you've been planning for the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, because you got paid 2 weeks ago or you got paid last week, and you're looking at the money that you got from your direct deposit. You didn't pull it out of the bank. You left it in the bank, and you decided that these are the bills or these are the debts that I owe. So let me go ahead and make sure that everything's taken care of. And especially being that we're at the end of the month and we're getting ready to go into a new month, now we are really just in a routine. It's like autopilot. We're like on autopilot of where the money is going to go. But I want you to understand that when it comes to finances, what you first have to do is understand that you're really in control of where that money is going to go. You are in control of where that money is going to be placed, where it's going to be, how it's going to be managed. You are in control of if you're going to save any money. You are in control of what happens with every single penny that's going in that direct deposit. You are. And see, the problem is that we are unconscious of what it is that we really need to stop for a moment and think about changing the direction of where we are putting the money. And if we would just stop for a moment, I mean, like literally for like 2 seconds, and just think for a moment. Yes, I do need to pay the debt. Yes, I do need to pay the bill, the utility, or whatever it is. But when we think about finances, we're talking about things like our lights, our water. We're talking about like our cable. We're talking about our groceries. And, in certain areas, there are snowstorms out there. There are different weather challenges that are coming up in this season. But we aren't really focused on, are we really directing that money into the right place? Are we really achieving the goal that we set out for with our finances? Or are we just deciding that we're just going to allow the autopilot that's in our minds to continue to repeat the routine that we've always done? Which is, okay, we know we need to take care of all of the things that are on our credit. Okay, we're going to pay down some of our debt, but we're not really focused on that much because we ain't got that much money. Okay, well, I'm not necessarily going to go and try to find another way to make more money. I'm just going to try to get a little bit more out of what I'm doing right now with what I got. See, this is a problem because usually the problem is not so much that you need to go make more money. The problem is that with finances, we are mismanaging the money. We are putting the money in the wrong places. And I know you're probably like, but Michelle, I got basic stuff. I'm not doing anything extravagant. I'm not wasting my money. I'm not doing this and doing that. Well, listen, I can promise you, if you were to come into our new official Financial Dominion Masterclass and ask any of the students that are currently in there, baby, let me tell you right now, you will understand that you're mismanaging money. Because what we do here in Kingdom Builders Credit Repair and also handling your finances through a budget with the Financial Dominion Masterclass is we help you to see that you are mismanaging money by locating every single penny that you have. Every single penny that you have that you're spending, the decision that you're making to choose to go and do this and do that, where you're not even conscious of all the things that are happening when you receive that deposit. When you receive that deposit, you are not in control of that money because you've already decided that you're going to continue the routine that you already had. But if you were to change, if you were to even consider that this is something that you want to do, I need you to sign up today for the new official Financial Dominion Masterclass. Because what are we going to do? We're going to show you how to manage the finances. Every time you get paid, if you're concerned about how to pay your taxes, if you're concerned about whether or not you're going to get any money back, we're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to show you how to get refunds. We're going to show you how to manage businesses. We're going to show you how to handle other taxes, such as a house tax and different discounts that you can receive. We're going to teach you how to manage your car and vehicle taxes. We're going to teach you how to manage land and property taxes. We're going to teach you how to do it all. Then we're going to go into different types of insurances. Why do you even need insurance? And why is it such a problem for you to keep paying that car insurance? Okay? Can I get a can I get a laugh right now? Because I'm trying to tell you, like, I have been around the block a couple of times and I know what I'm talking about because I've lived it. Okay. This is not something that I got out of a book. This is something that I have lived through. And I have come up with, by God's grace and mercy, the ability to accrue wealth through finances. So I can teach you how to manage, how to budget, how to stop overspending. It's not that you don't need to eat out anymore. It's just that you are not aware of how to properly manage your finances. Every time you receive some money, what have you done with it? Can you consciously think about all the things that you have done with every single penny that you receive? And I know that answer is no, because we are not even aware of how much money we're receiving, and we're not even aware of where the money is going. So this is why it's so pertinent that you get into this official Financial Dominion Masterclass, because we're not only going to break down your finances, we're going to show you how to position yourself with buying power with your credit and how to get out of debt. That's right. We're going to do it all for you. But that's all I got for today. If you learned a little something, put the information down below of what you got from today's message. And make sure that you know that when you share this information with somebody, tell them that you got it from Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. Don't just be out there talking to like you already knew this information, because you know you didn't. And it's okay. I still love you, but we just want you to put credit where credit is due. All right, until next week at 12:30. You never know what we're going to be talking about, so that's why you need to subscribe. So go and click that subscribe button, hit your notifications, and we will see you next time, 12:30 sharp Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to get you in that Financial Dominion Masterclass or in the Credit Repair Program. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.